Right then, here we are for Monday's maths lesson. And just like in all our maths lessons, let's start off by warming up our number brains. Now, I know that last week Mrs. Parker told you all about counting in tens. We are amazing at counting forwards in ones. We are amazing at counting backwards in ones, starting from any number. So we're still going to keep practicing that, and that's still something that you can practice at home as well. But we also need to practice counting in tens. Now, she showed you the 100 square. So you could see where the numbers were on 100 square when we counted in tens. And you also know that when we count in tens, there are no ones in the numbers either. So, and I also know that you've been practicing saying the numbers correctly as well. Because remember, we don't say teen at the end, we say T. So if we have a look at the numbers on the board, we're counting in tens. So if we start with 10, then it's 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and then 100. Okay, let's have another go. This time we're going to be a little bit quicker. So are you ready? Sitting up straight and really concentrating. Off we go. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Okay, your turn again. This time I'm going to, and you're going to do it all on your own. Are you ready? Off we go. Okay, well done to you. This is something that you can also practice at home. If you just write the numbers on a piece of paper, cut the pieces of paper out, and then you can stick them in order as well. And then you can practice, 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 just like we do at school. But let's have a think about today's lesson. Now we're going to do our Learn It in a moment. So whilst we're doing those, I want you to have a think about what did you learn about last week with Mrs. Parker and Mrs. Thornton and their maths lesson. So be thinking about that just while I get our Learn It ready. So are we ready? Now we're getting really good at these, okay? And we're getting much, much quicker at them, which will help us with our big maths test. So 8 add 2 equals 10. 4 add 4 equals 8. 2 add 3 equals 5. 1 add 1 equals 2. 7 add 3 equals 2 add what equals 10. It's a tricky one, these ones with the missing numbers. 2 add 8, good. 2 add 2 equals 4. 3 add 7 equals 10. 2 add 1 equals 3. 6 add what? Good. 6 add 4 equals 10. 1 add 9 equals 10. Switch the numbers around. 9 add 1 equals 10. 5 add 5 equals 10. 2 add 8. Good, equals 10. 9 add what equals 10? 9 add 1. Good. 3 add 3 equals 6. 4 add 6 equals 10. 0 add 10 equals 10. 4 add what? 4 add 6 equals 10. Good. 6 add 4 equals 10. 8 add what? Good. 8 add 2 equals 10. 10 add 0 equals 10. 1 add 9 equals 10. 3 add 7. Good. Equals 10. 10 add 0 equals 10. Good. 7 add 3. Good. Equals 10. 0 add 10 equals 10. Good. Now I'm just going to come back off that slide just for one moment because I want you to have a think about and let me know, what did you learn about last week with Mrs. Thornton and Mrs. Parker? That's right. You were thinking about length and measuring length. Now I'm going to show you a picture for this week's lesson. Now this is a picture of a giraffe and a tortoise, and there are some words on it. There is the word tall and there is the word short. tall and short. So any ideas what you think we might be learning about this week? Tall and short. Good, well done you. If you said height. So last week it was all about length and how long things were. And today it's all about, or this week rather, it's all about height and how tall things are. So if I go back onto my share screen, and hopefully I won't have to go back to the beginning of all these learn it. There we go. So our learning objective for today is we're going to be comparing different heights, and we're going to be using the language of taller than and shorter than. Okay, so we're not going to use the word big, we're not going to use the word small, we're using the words taller than and shorter than. So what you need to make sure you do is you need to make sure that you look really carefully at the objects that you will be shown. You need to say what you notice about them, and then you need to choose the correct words to compare them. Okay, so here we have a man and we have a boy. So I just want you to have a look at the picture of those two people. And then I want you to use the word taller and shorter in the sentences. So you can see that the sentences have got missing words. So the first sentence says, the man is something than the boy. So we need to choose one of those words, and we need to choose the word taller or shorter. Okay, so taller or shorter. So the man is something than the boy. So have a really good look. So what do we think? Who thinks, give me a thumbs up if you think that the man is taller than the boy. Okay, I can see lots of thumbs there. Now put your hand up or your thumbs up if you think the man is shorter than the boy. Right, well, if you look really, really closely, you can see there are red arrows next to the pictures, and you can see that the red arrow for the man is much taller. Okay, the distance between his feet and his head is more than the distance between the feet and the head of the boy. So the man is taller than the boy. So well done to you if you got that right. Second sentence, the boy is taller or shorter than the man. So think about what I just said. Look at those red arrows really closely and decide what you think the answer will be. The boy is taller or shorter than the man. What do you think? Okay, if you said that the boy is shorter than the man, you are correct. Well done to you. Okay, so the man is taller and the boy is shorter. Okay, so they're the words that we're going to be thinking of lots today. So taller, shorter. So what I would like you to do now is I would like you to stand next to somebody else in your house. So it might be your mum, it might be your dad, you might be with grandparents, you might be with your brothers or sisters, but choose somebody and stand next to them. Now, what words can you use to compare your heights? Thinking about those words that we just used. Good. You might use the word taller or taller than, and then you might use shorter and shorter than. So stand next to somebody, pause the video for a moment and talk about your heights. Okay, so well done to you. I wonder, are any of you taller than any of the adults in your house? No, I don't think so, are you? Are any of you taller than your brothers or sisters? Maybe some of you are. Okay, so what I want you to do now, if you're able to, if there's more than if there's another person in your house, I would like you to go and stand next to them as well, if you can. And I want you to compare your height with that person. Pause the video to go and do that. If you can't, don't worry. Okay, well done to you. Right, so a short teaching session from me today, because what I want you to do now is I want you to go and do your own comparing. So I have done this sheet ready for you to use, and I will show it to you now. So here it is. So if you want to print it off, you can do, but you don't need to, because what you can do instead is you can put it back on your screen using the PowerPoint link, and you can talk about it together. Okay, so in this section at the top, you have to read the question carefully because it's asking you to tick on some of them the tallest tower, some of them the shortest tower. So you need to look really closely there. Again, if you can't print it out, just talk about which one is the tallest or the shortest. Then we move on to the pictures with the animals. And you need to choose one of the words to complete the sentences. Okay, so the words are taller and shorter. So you need to look carefully, read the question and decide what you think the answer is. And then the last question at the bottom says, use the pictures to complete the sentences. So that one is a little bit trickier. You really need to think carefully about that one. Okay, but you need to make sure that you are comparing and using those words taller, shorter, and taller than and shorter than during your work and during this session. Okay, once you've done your do it, you can come back and have a look at the secure it. Okay, so let's just wait for it to load. So here we go, the secure it. Says Rosie, Alex and Mo are comparing the height of Mrs. Rose and Jack. So this is Jack here and this is Mrs. Rose here. And then we've got Rosie, Alex and Mo, and they're all saying something. Okay, so Rosie says Mrs. Rose is tall than Jack. Alex says that Jack is short than Mrs. Rose. And Mo says that Mrs. Rose is longer than Jack. So what I want you to do is, with your grown-up at home, I want you to talk about those sentences, and I want you to talk about how you can improve them to make them more accurate and to make sure that they all make sense. So what could you change and what words could you use instead? So you can pause the video and talk about that now, and then come back because there is a deepen it question as well. Now, your deepen it, if you get chance today, is I would like you to create a challenge for somebody else to complete. So it might be for your mum or dad, or it might be for a brother or a sister. But what I would like you to do is I want you to make a collection of things. So you can either draw pictures, you can make models, but I want you to do at least 2 different things. Okay, so make 2 models or draw 2 pictures. And then what I want you to do is I want you to get somebody else to come and compare the heights of what you have made or what you have drawn. And you need to be the teacher, because you need to make sure that they are using the correct words to compare them. So remember, we're thinking about the height of things, how tall something is from the bottom of the object to the top of the object. So make sure that they are using exactly the right words. And if they're not, you need to be the teacher and you need to explain it to them. Okay, so that's your deepen it. That's a little challenge for you to do for somebody else. But enjoy the session. I hope you've enjoyed the session. I hope you enjoy the deepen it. And we will do some more work about height tomorrow. So well done, everybody.